Hi, I'm Carla. Most people just call me Carla, simple and to the point, unlike my life these days. I'm 27 and the proud founder of Next Gen AI Solutions. Ever wonder what it's like to have a sister-in-law who might smash your face through a glass door at your own father's funeral? Let me introduce you to Ella Holmes. Her voice dripped with venom at our weekly family dinner. Jassy Holmes, she spat, like my success was a personal affront. My sister-in-law never missed a chance to take a jab at me. My company actually has working products, Ella, I replied calmly, though my grip on the wine glass tightened. We're revolutionizing healthcare. Dad, ever my rock, squeezed my shoulder. My little genius, he said with pride, even as the oxygen tube in his nose weakened his voice. Wait until they see your new cancer detection algorithm. Ella wasn't finished. She turned her daggered words toward my brother, Mark. Speaking of family businesses, honey, shouldn't you be more involved? I mean, Carla's making millions, and you're still pushing papers at the bank. Mark shifted uncomfortably, avoiding my gaze. I'm doing fine, Ella. Fine? Her laugh was sharp. Your baby sister is worth millions while you settle for fine. That's enough, Dad said, his tone cutting through the tension despite his frailty. I invested in Carla's company because she had the vision and drive. It's not about playing favorites. Later that evening, my best friend Emma cornered me in the kitchen. Watch your back, Carla, she warned. Ella's been asking weird questions about your company's security protocols. She's been hanging around the office, too. Lucas, my business partner, confirmed it the next day. She tried to bluff her way past it, claiming she had documents for you. Dad was more pragmatic when I told him over coffee that Sunday. Focus on the product launch, he advised. I've updated everything to protect you and the company. Don't talk like that, I protested. The doctors said the new treatment. My brilliant girl, he interrupted, sliding a Forbes magazine across the table. My face was on the cover. Promise me, Carla. Never let anyone dim your light. Ella stormed in just then, Mark trailing behind her. She took one look at the magazine and smirked. Another cover story. Must be nice having Daddy bankroll your dreams while his own son gets nothing. I earn everything through hard work, I said firmly. Maybe if you spent less time obsessing over my success. Obsessing. Her laugh was cold. You strut around like tech royalty while we can barely afford our mortgage. Mark, tell them about your promotion idea. Ella, stop, Mark pleaded, his voice strained. We talked about this. This is my company, I said, meeting her gaze. And my achievements. For now, she shot back. Things change, sweetheart, sometimes faster than you think. Dad's coughing fit shattered the tension. I rushed to his side, helping with his medication as he gripped my hand urgently. Promise me, he whispered. Stay strong, no matter what happens. Always, Dad, I vowed. But I didn't realize how soon his warning would come to haunt me, or how far Ella's jealousy would go. The call came at 3:00 a.m., shattering the quiet darkness. The hospital's number flashed on my phone screen. My stomach dropped. Miss Matthews, the voice on the line said, your father has been rushed to the emergency room. He collapsed at home. I was already grabbing my keys when Mark called. Carla, I'm picking you up. Dad's security system alerted us. The hospital corridors seemed endless. When we arrived, Ella was already there, rifling through Dad's briefcase, which the paramedics had brought in. What the hell are you doing? I demanded, my voice sharp with anger. Someone has to handle things, she snapped, clutching papers like they were her lifeline. You're too busy playing tech queen. Put those down. Now. Before she could respond, the doctor arrived, his grave expression freezing us in place. Mr. Matthews suffered a massive heart attack. We're doing everything we can. Hours dragged by in the waiting room. Mark paced restlessly while Ella whispered furiously on her phone. I caught snippets of her conversation. Yes, I'm at the hospital. No, nothing's been signed yet. When the doctor returned, his face said it all. Family of James Matthews. My legs gave out as Mark caught me. I'm so sorry, the doctor said. We did everything possible. The morning after Dad's passing, Ella wasted no time asserting herself. We need to check his office, she announced sharply. Important documents. Our father just died, Mark exploded, his grief barely contained. By midday, Dad's lawyer, Mr. Peterson, called an emergency meeting. The atmosphere in the study was tense. the air heavy with unspoken expectations. Your father updated his will last month, Mr. Peterson began, his voice calm but deliberate. Ella leaned forward, her lips curling in anticipation. To my daughter, Carla Matthews, he continued, I leave 75% of Matthews Technology shares, granting her majority control of all business holdings. My breath caught. Across the table, Ella's face twisted into a mask of disbelief. To my son, Mark Matthews, Mr. Peterson went on, a trust fund of $2 million. $2 million? Ella's voice rose in a shriek. While she gets billions in company shares. Mr. Peterson adjusted his glasses and continued undeterred. Additionally, the mansion and remaining assets will be divided, 70% to Carla, 30% to Mark. This is ridiculous. Ella slammed her fist on the desk. She manipulated him while he was sick. The will is ironclad, Mr. Peterson replied firmly. Mr. Matthews was fully competent and confident in these decisions. We'll contest it, Ella snarled, turning to Mark. Tell them, Mark. But Mark only stared at his shoes. Dad's wishes were clear, he mumbled. You pathetic excuse for a son. Ella screamed, her voice echoing in the study. She's stealing your birthright. Mrs. Matthews, Mr. Peterson interjected, his tone sharp. Compose yourself. This isn't over, Ella hissed, snatching her bag. Her eyes locked on mine, burning with fury. Enjoy your victory lap, princess. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed. She stormed out, slamming the door so hard the windows rattled. Looking at Mark's defeated expression, I realized this was just the beginning. The worst was yet to come, and it would be written in blood and broken glass. The mansion's grand hall felt suffocating as mourners gathered after the funeral. Dad's portrait washed over us from the mantel, his kind eyes now frozen in oil on canvas. Ella hadn't stopped glaring at me since the eulogy, her mascara smeared from what I knew were fake tears. As I made my way to the study for a moment alone, she blocked my path. Quite a performance, she hissed. Daddy's perfect little princess, right to the end. Not now, Ella, I said, exhaustion dulling my voice. Oh, but it's the perfect time, she sneered. Everyone's here to see your inheritance celebration. Emma, my best friend, appeared at my side. Let's get some air, Carla. Grateful for the escape, I headed to Dad's study, needing a moment with his memory. The sound of clicking heels echoed behind me. Running away again? Ella's voice was venomous. Just like you ran away with our family's legacy. I turned to face her, the weight of her resentment bearing down on me. You know that's not true. Mark worked for that company for 10 years while you played tech genius with Daddy's money, she spat. Ella, stop, I said firmly, trying to keep my voice steady. But her rage erupted. With a shriek she lunged, slamming me into the decorative glass door. The impact was deafening. Glass shattered around me as my face hit the panel with crushing force. Pain seared through me, and I collapsed, blood streaming down my face. I'll destroy everything you love, she hissed, glass shards clutched in her fist, just like you destroyed us. Before she could strike again, Lucas tackled her to the ground. You're insane, he shouted as chaos erupted around us. Guests screamed, security guards rushed in, and camera phones captured the scene. Emma pressed her jacket against my bleeding face. Someone call 911, she cried. Mark's voice cracked as he looked at Ella in horror. What have you done? What you were too weak to do, she screamed back, thrashing against Lucas. Look at her, bleeding like the leech she is. Police sirens wailed in the distance, the flashing lights cutting through the chaos. Officers stormed in, weapons drawn. Everyone down, hands where we can see them. She tried to kill my friend, Emma shouted, holding up her phone. I got it all on video. Ella was cuffed, still screaming accusations. She stole everything. Our future. Our company. Security footage confirmed the attack. As paramedics lifted me into the ambulance, Dad's words echoed in my mind. Stay strong, no matter what happens. In the courtroom weeks later, Ella stood for sentencing, her designer clothes replaced by prison orange. Her arrogance was gone, replaced by hollow desperation as the evidence against her mounted. Assault, theft, fraud, and attempted corporate espionage. The most disturbing charge, the judge said, his voice cold, is the premeditated attack on your sister-in-law. Emma squeezed my hand as the security footage played, the glass door shattering, my bloody face, Ella's wild eyes as she lunged for me again. Your Honor. Ella's voice quivered. I was desperate. The gambling debts. Save it, the judge interrupted. The evidence shows years of calculated fraud. Mr. Peterson rose next, revealing the depths of her crimes. $2.3 million stolen through fake property deals, secret credit cards, and attempted corporate sabotage. Mark slumped in his seat beside me, destroyed by each revelation. I did it for us, Mark. Ella sobbed as officers led her away. She took everything. The judge's gavel fell. 15 years. No possibility of early release. As she was escorted out, Ella's mask finally cracked. Carla, please, she begged. I'm sorry. I traced the faint scar on my cheek, the memory of surgeons warning how lucky I was to keep my eyes still vivid. Your apology means nothing, I murmured, the weight of Ella's sentencing lingering in the air. Outside, reporters swarmed. Miss Matthews, any comment on the sentencing? Justice was served, I stated simply, stepping toward my waiting car. Carla, wait. Mark's voice stopped me. We hadn't really spoken since the divorce. His eyes, heavy with guilt, searched mine. What's left to say? I asked. I was blind, weak. I let Ella poison everything. His voice cracked, and tears spilled freely. I lost my sister because of her. You didn't lose me, I said softly, but trust takes time. I understand, he said, his voice trembling. I'll earn it back, somehow. 2 weeks later, I called an emergency board meeting. The room buzzed with quiet curiosity as I stood at the head of the table. I'm restructuring the company's shares, I announced. Mark will receive 40% ownership and step in as chief financial officer. Gasps rippled through the room. Emma leaned forward. Carla, after everything. Dad built this company believing in family, I interrupted. Ella nearly destroyed that. I won't let her win by losing my brother too. Mark's hands trembled as he picked up the contract. I don't deserve this. No, I said honestly. But Dad would want us united. Besides, you're actually good with numbers when you're not being manipulated. His laughter was brief, but real. Weeks later, a Forbes cover sat on my desk. The Matthews siblings. Tech's new power duo. Below it, Ella's prison intake photo served as a sobering reminder that karma doesn't miss. My scars have faded, but they tell a story. A story of survival, growth, and choosing to rise above hatred. Mark and I rebuilt more than a company, we rebuilt trust. Last week, another letter arrived from Ella's prison. Like the others, it went straight to the shredder, unopened. Some broken things can't be fixed, but family, real family, is worth fighting for. Dad always told me to stay strong, and he was right. But he taught me something else too. True power isn't in destroying your enemies, it's in choosing to be better than them. Every Sunday, Mark and I visit Dad's grave. We share coffee and updates about the company he believed in so deeply. Sometimes, as I watch the sunlight dance across his headstone, I swear I see him smiling, watching his children finally become the team he always knew we could be. As for Ella, she has 14 more years to reflect on how her jealousy cost her everything, while the family she tried to destroy grew stronger. What would you do if the person who tried to destroy you lost everything? Would you help them rebuild or let karma take its course? In my case, Ella lost her freedom, marriage, career, and reputation. I chose to rebuild with Mark, but I still shred every letter she sends without a second thought. Some say forgiveness heals the forgiver more than the forgiven. Others believe toxic people deserve the consequences of their actions. What do you think? Would you extend mercy to someone who tried to destroy you, or is karma justice enough? If you want more stories about overcoming toxic family dynamics and thriving after trauma, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Your support helps me keep sharing these real experiences. Stay strong, and remember, sometimes the best revenge is living well.